Hey, welcome to the Sales Hunter podcast. I'm Mark Hunter. I'm your host. Well, you know that because that's why you're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast. Hey, today's guest, it's me. Yeah, I took my medicine, so I didn't know how much to drink, so I drank the whole bottle. Anyway, hey, what am I be sharing with you? That was kind of crude and crass. So well, I apologize. Hey, here's the whole thing. Every now and then, I like to bring you a solo episode. Why? To share with you some tips and ideas and some strategies and to go down a little bit deeper. Day journal that I'm going to make available to you for free just for being a listener, just for being a watcher, however you are. But hey, why don't we get into the show because we got 22 minutes to make it happen.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
Hey, thank you so much and welcome to the Sales Hunter podcast. Today's episode is really me talking about the making of a mind for sales and 33 strategies. I'm going to share with you some tips and some ideas as to ways that you can increase your gain. Because let me tell you something, sales is a mental game. It is a mental, well, it's a mental and emotional game. Because I tell you what, if your mental framework isn't set up right, your emotional framework is not going to be set up. Hey, if you're checking in, if you're watching from anywhere, chime in the comments. Love to hear where you're listening, where you're watching from right now. For those of you who are live, and I'll put you up on the screen here, because I'll tell you what, here's what I want to talk about when we talk about the making of a mind for sales. I see so many salespeople, they sell great products, they sell great services, but ouch, they can't seem to find a way to make it happen. Hey, good afternoon, Bonnie. Great to have you on the show from Vancouver, British Columbia. I trust it's nice up there. It's always nice in Vancouver. Hey, here's the question here. Having a mind for sales starts with getting your act together. And how do you get your act together? Well, it's very simply by understanding what is it that you do. What is sales all about? And it's some of the stuff that I write about in my book, A Mind for Sales. And I took some of that and I broke it down to what I have as a 33-day journal. We got a lot of other people popping in. This is absolutely terrific. I'm going to just keep popping you up there. I apologize if I don't call you out because there's so many people listening. This is absolutely terrific, but great to have the viewers. We're checking in from all over the country and around the world. That is absolutely terrific. Hey, here's the situation. I want you to ask yourself, what is sales? What is sales? You see, in my journal, 33 days strategy, I walk you through 33 of my quotes and I share with you different ideas and strategies that you can use. And day number one, I started off by coming at you right here. Sales is about helping others see and achieve what they did not think was possible. Stop and think about that for a moment. Sales is about helping others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible. You see, I firmly believe this. Sales is about uncovering new opportunities. Now, not just new opportunities for you. Well, okay, you want to close sales, I get it. But new opportunities for your customers. That's what's absolutely critical. And you see, here's the whole thing. Many times our customers don't know what they're looking for. They don't know. And the only way they're going to be able to find out is by us taking the time to ask them questions and listen. It is great that we have got listeners with us today from Europe. We've got listeners from Asia. We've got listeners from all over North America. It's absolutely terrific. Who I haven't heard from is South America. So, hey, if you're checking in from South America, let me just scroll back through, see if you're here. But jump in. Love to hear from you here too. Here's the situation, though. I really want to ask you, if you're helping others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible, are you only filling their needs or are you helping them uncover their needs? Stop and think about that for a moment. Really, really stop and think about that for a moment. And while you're thinking about that, hey, I'm going to put up there. There's the piece there. Jump out to this link here, thesaleshunter.com/33 days. Well, whatever, you see it there, and I'll put it in the show notes for those of you listening to the podcast. but I want you to download the book. This is the ebook. This is the book on 33 days. And day number 1 is sales is about helping others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible. Here's the example I love to use. I love to use the example of Steve Jobs. If you think about Steve Jobs for a moment, Steve Jobs was incredibly creative. And when he decided to come out with this iPhone, remember what life was like before the iPhone? You see, life before the iPhone, some of you are too young to remember, it was a flip phone. It was really cool if we had the Motorola Razr phone. Some of you can relate to that. You remember the Motorola Razr phone. And then Steve Jobs came along with a device that was a phone and a camera and a recording music device and a computer and a telephone, all in the same device. And we all looked at it and we said, what do we need that for? What do we need that for? But see, within about 6 months or a year, we all suddenly realized that we had to have that. We had to have it. We couldn't live without it. You see, what he was doing was he was helping us see and achieve what we didn't think was possible. That's what sales is. I want you to look at how you've helped your customers. What have you helped them achieve that they did not think was possible? What did you help them? What did you help them achieve? When you're able to do that, it is amazing how sales takes on a different light. In day 2 of my 33-day journal that I want you to download, I want you to grab it. It's an ebook. Just grab it. I say sales is not a job. Sales is not a profession. Sales is a lifestyle. Let's unpack this for a bit. What does this mean? What this means is simply, if you view sales as a job, you're going to see it as a transaction. You're going to see it as a transaction, and you do X amount of things, and you expect to get Y in return. If you see it as a profession, you think, oh, it's glorified, and I'm smarter than everyone else. I'm the one who's got the degree. I'm the credentialed person who can do it. If you think of it as a lifestyle, you are committed to the other person. You are committed to the people you help. There's another way to look at it. Sales as a lifestyle means that you never stop selling. You're in sales mode 24/7 because sales mode is about creating relationships. Sales mode is about earning the next conversation, earning the next discussion. Sales as a lifestyle is about never forgetting day 1, which is sales is about helping others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible. Think about that. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about being so involved in what you do, you don't even realize you're selling. The other day, I was with some salespeople, and definitely they were struggling. And then later in the week, I was with some salespeople that were simply over the top. This organization had a culture and an environment that was just on fire. And every one of those people in that organization that viewed it as just an unbelievable culture and on fire, they were selling 24/7. And it was an amazing experience being around those individuals. And the other ones, just the opposite. Because the other ones were just in it to do their 50 dials a day. That was it. 50 calls a day. That's it. Done. As soon as they get to 50, they're done. That's it. Check out. They don't care what their results are. The other group, they absolutely embraced it. See, think about this for a moment in terms of where you are in how you view sales. Now, go to day 3 of the book, and I'm not going to go through all 33 days. I'm just highlighting a few of the days here to give you a feeling, because I really want you to download the book. Because in the book, I walk through each day. There's a quote, there's commentary by me, and there's some questions to ask. So the idea is that you kind of work through it, and in 33 days, I guarantee it, your sales are going to be at a different level. And again, I'm just giving this to you because I want to give to you, the sales community, my sales podcast listeners. Day 3, if you have the ability to help someone, then it's your responsibility to reach out to them. If you have the ability to help someone, then it's your responsibility to reach out to them. Prospecting. is without a doubt the most difficult part of selling. It is because it's like, it means I got to reach out to people I don't know and so forth. Here's the whole thing though. If you have the ability to help someone, and how do you know if you have the ability to help someone? You have to know who your ICP is, your ideal customer profile. And I stay very tight with that ideal customer. That's who I stay focused on. That's who I stay focused on. Because if I stay focused on them, I know I can help them. And if I know I can help them, I owe it to them to reach out to them. Let me give you an example. Right now, there's a lot of people who are watching this live, and there'll be hundreds and thousands of more people who will be catching the podcast. And I've got problems. I know I've got problems. And I'll tell you what, if somebody in that listening audience could help me with my problem, I would want them to reach out. I would want them to reach out to me and help me. Because if I were to find out later that this person could help me and they didn't reach out to me, I'd be upset. I'd be upset at them. You see, we owe it to people who we know we can help to reach out to them. This is one of the things that jazzes me about me making prospecting calls. I love making prospecting calls because I'm calling people who I know I can help. And when I know I can help them, I am just having a conversation. See, I don't view, yes, what I do is sales. But I'm helping people first. Sales is just kind of the name that we put on it. I'm really a fixer. I'm a fix-it guy. I'm an up your game guy. I'm an improvement guy. I'm going to prevent you from falling guy. Sales is just the name we put on it. You see, are you beginning to see how when we talk about sales as a lifestyle, fits into this whole thing of if you have the ability to help someone, then it's your responsibility to reach out to them. I tell you what, when I share that with salespeople and I walk them through, and you see the light bulb go off, especially the BDRs who are charged with just making phone call after phone call after phone call. It is amazing at how they feel. It just changes them dramatically. Let me give you one more example, because this is the whole thing that drives me crazy. Well, if you have the ability to help someone, it's your obligation, but I don't want to call them. I don't want to intrude on them. So we'll just do a lot of marketing. We'll do a lot of social media stuff, and that'll be good. Let me tell you something. It doesn't work. Not to the expediency that you need it to work. Let me give you an example. We'll say you were walking down the street. You're walking down the street in your neighborhood. You know a lot of the people. You don't know everybody. You know a fair number of the people. And you saw a house on fire. But you did not know those people. Would you go to somebody's house that you do know and say, hey, would you mind connecting me with those people who live in that house because their house is on fire? 2, would you say, well, I post a lot of stuff on social media. I'm sure they'll see it sooner or later, and they'll reach out to me. Or C, would you say, you know what? Maybe I should try to connect with them on LinkedIn. And then when I connect with them, I'll do a click and pitch. I'll tell them that their house is on fire. Or D, would you simply run up to their house and try to make sure that they're out of the house? You would have an expediency in trying to get their attention. You'd have an expediency in calling 911. You'd have an expediency in making sure that fire gets taken care of quickly and nobody's harmed. You see, that's what I mean. If you have the ability to help someone, you have an obligation to reach out to them quickly, sooner than later, not through some deferred me. Oh, let's do it. I'll put enough Instagram posts out there. No. As I say in my book, you can't take clicks and likes to the bank. You can't. It's you got to be on social media. I get it, because your reputation arrives before you do, but it's not the way you reach people. So what have we talked about already? Well, we've talked about how sales is about helping others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible. How sales is not a job, it's not a profession. Sales is a lifestyle. And 3, if you have the ability to help someone, then it's your responsibility to reach out to them. Hey, if you're watching this live, you're seeing the little ticker at the bottom. I want you to download that ebook right now, because this blows out all 33 of these. If you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes, because in the show notes, we have the link in there for you to be able to download this. Really, very much encourage you to grab it. Let's talk about another one. Day 4. I'm not going to go through this in order. I'm just sharing with you. I just grabbed half a dozen that I want to share with you. Day 4. It's not about what you sell or even how you sell. It's why you sell. Whoa. Now, I'm not stealing thunder from Simon Sinek. He wrote the book Why, in terms of know your why. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give some more meat to it, try to bring some more peace into it. It's not about what you sell or even how you sell. You see, I run into too many salespeople who sit there and say, well, if I just work for a decent company, I'd be willing to stay in sales. I knew a gentleman who was going to get out of sales. He said, well, yeah, I didn't get that sales job with Yeti. You know Yeti. They manufacture great mugs, great camping gear, et cetera, coolers and so forth. He said, that's the only product I would ever sell in my life. I'm glad you didn't get that job. Because you see, it's not what you sell. It's not what you sell. It's not even how you sell. Whoa, Mark, don't you do a lot of sales training? Yeah, I do. And you're saying that's not important? You're right. I'm saying it's not important. Whoa, throw up on that one. It's important, but it's not as important as why you sell. Why you sell. You see, here's the whole thing. When we are focused on what we sell, we're focused on the product. We're focused on the feature. Oh, feature. Yeah, you know what's coming after that, the benefits. And see, if you're focused on how you sell, then what you do is try to get people to think about their benefits. When you focus on why you sell, you're focused on the outcomes the customers achieve. The outcomes. That's what you're helping people do. You see, nobody buys anything. Nobody wants to buy anything from anybody. They really don't. They really don't. They don't. I know people say it there. Oh, they don't want to be sold, but they want to buy. I don't think they want to buy. I don't think they want to buy. What they want to do is they want to invest. They want to invest to achieve an outcome. And I don't care if this is B2B or B2C. It applies. It applies. We'll say I go shopping for groceries. Am I buying or I'm investing? I'm investing because I want this particular food for yeah, you're right. I'm buying. I'm not thinking too much about it, but I'm investing. Yes. You see, it's absolutely critical that we allow ourselves to understand that customers want to invest. And when we focus on the outcome, it changes everything. Yeah. You see, here's the whole situation. If you focus only on your product, you'll wind up cutting right to the, it's a product dump. It's a feature dump. I see this all the time in sales organizations. I see this all the time. I listen to a lot of demo calls. I listen to a lot of things, and all this is a product dump. And remember, that's not what it's about. It's about making it happen to achieve an outcome. Yeah. You see, here's what I'm challenging. I hope we don't have a bad network connection. I'm getting a comment out there. I hope that's not correct. But anyway, hey, here's the whole thing. I want to jump to the next one. What's your CFT? What's your CFT? Walk up to somebody walking down the street. What's your CFT? CFT is customer facing time. I love customer facing time. because this is really the measurement. You see, what I find happening is so many times we in sales managers are guilty of measuring the wrong things. And CFT is something critical. CFT. See, what I want to do is what's the actual face time with customers? And there's two ways to look at CFT. There's CFT with existing customers and CFT with prospects. And you got to measure both of them. You have to measure both of them. Because what I find is too many people, once they get an established book of business, all their CFT is with existing customers. And all you're doing is babysitting. You're not creating incremental opportunities. I want CFT around prospecting. Prospecting has to be baked in. Has to be baked into what you do. Yeah. And what's very interesting is when you really start breaking apart your day, and in the journal, and I hope you download it, you'll see the ticker there at the bottom. Download it, please. Grab it. It's got all 33 days in there. It's got some verbiage and it's got some questions that you ask. If you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes because we have it right there in the show notes for you. Here's the whole situation. CFT is not nearly as great as people think it is because we get caught up in everything else. We get caught up in all this other stuff and it doesn't make a difference. Next one, Friday's a great day to sell. Friday is a great day to sell. Yes, it is a great day to sell. Absolutely great day to sell. Great day to sell. If some of you are having problems, we're getting some people that are saying they're having problems with Wi-Fi, et cetera, et cetera. Check out the podcast because this will be up as a podcast, the Sales Hunter podcast. So download it however you get your podcast. This will be out in about a week if you're watching live. So we're recording this on March 24th. So it'll be out in about a week. But anyway, here's something to keep in mind here. Friday's a great day to sell. Why is it a great day to sell? Because people are a little more laid back, relaxed, especially if you sell to senior level people. This is a great time, senior level people, to be reaching out to them. Absolutely great time. Don't think for a moment because your competitors are all slacking off, especially as we begin to head into summer. Whoa, bad. You, on the other hand, can take advantage of that. I love reaching out to senior level people on Friday afternoons. They're still working. I'm still working. It's amazing the context I have. One more I want to share with you before we got to wrap this up, and that is the 10 a.m. rule. I love the 10 a.m. rule. I want you to take your smartphone. Remember your what we taught earlier, Steve Jobs and your iPhone? I want you to take your smartphone and I want you to set an alarm to go off every morning at 10 a.m. Your objective is by 10 a.m., you want to have accomplished something significant. If you have accomplished something significant by 10 a.m., it will be amazing at how more productive your entire day will be. And even if your day falls apart after 10 a.m., you know that you will have at least accomplished something significant. There's something magical about setting up your day to make it happen with something significant before 10 a.m. I happen to get up at 4:50 every morning. And my rule is 8 a.m. By 8 a.m., I want to accomplish something significant. Yeah, that's how I make it happen. Hey, this is the Sales Hunter podcast, and I really appreciate everybody listening, whether you're catching this live on LinkedIn, YouTube, or on Facebook, or you're catching this by way of your downloadable podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Check out the ebook I've got. This is kind of a special session, just me. I do this about once every other month. I do this about 2 times a quarter. I want you to check out the ebook right there because you can grab it right there to download. And it's The Making of a Mind for Sales. And what you do is you'll take your game to the next level. It's a free ebook. I got it right there for you. Grab it. It's going to walk you through. Hey, stick around for just a bit because if you've listened to the show, you'll always know that there's an after the show show. So, hey, why don't we get to the after the show in just a moment? Hey, you've been listening to the Sales Hunter podcast. The Sales Hunter podcast is all about one thing, helping you see and achieve what you didn't think was possible. I'm Mark Hunter, your host, and now let's get back to the after the show. Hey, Mark, how did you like that show? Did you like that show? Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of playing with you a little bit because normally in the after the show is where I get just kind of a couple minutes just to chat with the guest about whatever it is that we want to talk about. If you've not been a subscriber to the Sales Hunter podcast, I hope that you like it now, and I hope you subscribe. In fact, would you do me a favor? Would you rate the show? Leave us a review on your favorite podcast app, because it's how we help to tell other people. Reviews are one of the best ways to share with other people what you think of it. Each week we have a guest. Each week we have an insight. Each week we share knowledge to help you grow your sales. And like I said, about twice a quarter, I get to do a solo show where I get to do a little bit of a deeper dive. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. This is the Sales Hunter podcast. Grab the ebook ticker on the bottom if you're checking the video out, or go to the show notes. You'll see it right there, but I want you to grab it. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. We'll see you on the next episode.